Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
Oh, and SandyClaws.
And Jacob Wile.
And welcome to our final review of a Team Drax project in the Creator Games Project Infinity. That's right, folks. That's right. So the Creator Games Project Infinity, relatively short-lived. I don't want to get into all the details and the hoopla and everything. Let's just say it's come to a close. But instead of lamenting about that fact, folks, I really want to take that frown and turn it right upside down and talk about some awesome projects, get the positivity back up, celebrate the great work that these two teams have been able to put into it, and just kind of like, just kind of move forward at this point. So with us tonight is a very special guest star who will be joining us for these two project reviews. We have with us the fantastic, the amazing, the guy who basically saved this channel because he puts in like more than half the work, BlueDragonFive!
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
All right, so BlueDragonFive, it's funny, Dragon. The first introduction I ever got to you was as a Toy Story fan because you sent me a link to your video about the matchstick moments in Pixar, and that was essentially like my first introduction to you was that matchstick moments video. So full circle here, Dragon. As soon as the team came up with the Woody's Roundup concept, I was like, I've got to get Dragon on this because Dragon's like the biggest Toy Story fan I know.
Oh yeah, nothing. It always boils down to the two things in my life, probably Batman the Animated Series and Toy Story. Basically Pixar in general, but of course always the first Toy Story. I mean, no matter what amazing thing Pixar always puts out, it's always going to be boiled down to my number one for every best Pixar film or favorite Pixar film is always going to be the original Toy Story film. And that's never going to change.
Of course, of course. Well, unfortunately, Dragon, this project is not based on the original Toy Story. It's not even based on Toy Story 2. It is, in fact, kind of a weird side spin-off thing, but it still very much fits into the Toy Story universe. So, first of all, just really quick to set things up, I was actually a coach on Team Drax this project, so I kind of helped steer the group into this direction. So if you don't like the direction that this project went, I'm partly to blame. I'm just kidding. But, so with that in mind, I'm just going to be kind of, my role in this podcast is less so review and more so kind of talking to you guys about how the team came to this concept to begin with. But keeping that in mind, Dragon, just if you want to give some history with Toy Story and Woody and kind of the Woody's Roundup concept.
Of course, subject here being Woody's Roundup. Now, Woody's Roundup, as everyone hopefully will know, first came from Toy Story 2. In Toy Story 2, the crux of that story is Woody discovers what his background is. Actually, we all knew him as kind of a hand-me-down toy, most likely passed on from Andy's father to Andy himself. It's a little fuzzy on those little details. The point is, he's been in the family for years, beloved toy, and Woody actually, the classic pull-string cowboy. He is very much styled in kind of the 50s Western, but not just any 50s Western, as we learn as he's taken by toy collector extraordinaire Al McWiggin, who collects 50s memorabilia.
And also voices Zurg on Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the animated series.
Wayne Knight.
Also,
Great Wayne Knight.
Also is currently trying to desperately franchise Al's Toy Barn.
Right.
Basically, Woody discovers as he meets his Roundup gang, and first of all, he's like, what the heck, I have a Roundup gang? He finds out through the glorious invention that is a VHS and also Philco predicted TV sets. He learns that he comes from the 50s show, very much influenced by Howdy Doody from the 50s, Woody's Roundup.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, this was a really ingenious thing, very much like Howdy Doody. It's basically Woody, Jesse, Bullseye, and the Prospector, otherwise known as Stinky Pete. That's basically
Really
kind of.
You know what's funny about Stinky Pete is that we have that new show that you keep hyping up to me, Sneaky Pete.
Yep.
And whenever I look it up, I'm always like, wait, is it Stinky Pete or Sneaky Pete?
Part of me deep down would really like to think that Cranston was thinking Toy Story 2 when he was writing this. What's a catchy title? What's a catchy name? For a show.
Right.
Anyway, I really liked Kelsey Grammer. What's something good that Kelsey Grammer's been in? Anyway, My point is just the run that I hear. So basically, it was a really awesome idea that Lasser had. Like, he basically come up with a backstory for Woody. Just kind of like it's kind of funny how things turn out because Buzz Lightyear came from a TV show, which is more in the modern age, which we now look back on a little nostalgically in the early 2000s. But Buzz Lightyear Star Command, but actually Woody came from a much older show. Again, very much like what if this show exists in real life? It was shot on Kinescope, which just to remind the kiddies out there, Kinescope was what predated. Shooting black and white on film like I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy shot on film, that's why they had the negatives and everything, versus Kinescope, which is pretty much like live black and white television, essentially.
Yeah, and I think it's they did something similar with. This might be something completely different, but I thought I heard that word earlier with they did with the 101 Dalmatians or something.
That's the Xerox process.
Okay, all right. The two words sound the same. I'm sorry.
It's fun.
I was saying something else with but yeah, Kinescope, yes, absolutely. That's just basically kind of their way of doing like a really cruddy. Basically, it's a really grainy version of black and white. Before it was kind of more like kind of finished, like the awesome quality of black and white we wish Disney and Pixar would kind of replicate more and more often. They've improved it even more so.
Black and white detective movie for Pixar. That's all I'm saying. Get on it, Bradford.
This pretty much was Woody and the gang as black and white marionettes. Again, very much like Howdy Doody, but more awesome because they were Toy Story related.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like tons and tons of merchandise and everything. That basically Woody got wrapped up in the world. Like, oh my god, this is a huge thing way back then. I'm a collector's item. He's kind of improved his self-worth while he was kind of down in the dumps about being a broken toy and questioning kind of his value to his owner. So it kind of gave Woody new purpose. And Woody's Roundup, of course, they had the Riders in the Sky do a song on a really catchy song, Woody's Roundup. He's very it's really catchy. Kind of had a little bit of a following, and in Pixar is important. This mainly for some of the things we're talking about in this thing, especially with kind of the gift shops and the queue and stuff. In Pixar, they actually made a lot of those things for Tom Hanks to react to when he was recording, like Woody's reaction to these. Woody's reactions to the old products and all the advertising and the merchandise from the show, like oh, it's a record player, and there's a snake in my boot, a little snake launching boot thing, all the little trinkets there, and there's even like Time magazines, all sorts of really cool stuff. So I think that really kind of influenced this in some way, but that's just my speculation on it. So without my speculation, my nostalgia for Woody's Round, how cool it was to see Pixar's taken like an old Western show and made it relevant again in the day and age. How did this project come about? More specific.
All right. So first of all, Dragon, I just kind of want to kind of get you guys' initial thoughts on this. Dragon, what did you think of this project overall? Just kind of your one sentence summary of your thoughts.
I like where it's coming from. I like where it's coming from. I respect the creativity and the faithfulness.
Okay. Sandy?
Jacob.
I do like aspects of this project. I think it's a pretty creative idea to make an attraction based on the small segment from the movie, and it would have potential.
Sorry, my microphone was off.
Oh, sorry.
I was talking the whole time.
Oh God.
I didn't make you feel bad, did I? Like, oh no, Sandy's boss.
I started talking and Dragon said, Jacob, and I was like,
Go on, you move on.
Sorry, continue.
No,
Jacob.
by the way, Sandy, go on, Sandy.
Were you finished, Jacob?
Yes, he came on just as I was finishing.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, I personally like this project. I think it'd make for a really cool ride. I do. I think that scene in the film has always been one of my favorites. I don't have a personal attachment to it, the whole concept, but just this scene and everything. I think it's really cool. This would be really interesting to see in reality.
All right, so let me talk through how we got to this idea. So Woody's Roundup actually wasn't the first concept we were toying around with. Ironically enough, probably the second place to this concept was basically what Team Baby Groot went with, which was a Princess and the Frog dark ride in the exact same location they put it in. Like Team Baby Groot had the exact same idea of us, is hey, most people think Princess and the Frog, they think New Orleans Square. but I actually think a better idea would be to put it in Critter Country because A, Critter Country needs a shiny new ride, and B, technically Princess and the Frog takes place in the back, in the backwoods and bayous of New Orleans, and that's pretty much what Critter Country is supposed to be. So Team Baby Group had that idea and ran with it. So I'm glad to see that idea was represented somewhere. Let's see, a couple other concepts that we kind of threw around. It would have been a little unconventional, but we were kind of throwing around a DuckTales dark ride in Toontown.
Ooh,
That'd be nice.
that'd be cool.
Interesting.
Of course, the reason we didn't go with that is that, like, the requirement of, like, this project, there's two words in particular that we got hung up on because I've experienced this in the past with these competitions. Fantasyland style. So Fantasyland style dark ride is a completely different thing from just saying build a dark ride. Because if you say build a dark ride, it could be anything from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to the Haunted Mansion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so Fantasyland style kind of puts things into a little bit different of a perspective. But so yeah, that's the reason why we ultimately didn't go with DuckTales, is because even though I do truly feel like DuckTales is kind of growing more and more of a legacy as time goes on in terms of animated animation and animated TV, especially like TV series, it's not a movie. You know what I mean? It's not an entry into the classic Disney film pantheon.
Right.
So with that in mind, technically DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp, but that's kind of splitting hairs. I love that movie, but you got Christopher Lloyd as the villain in that one. But so that's why we didn't go with DuckTales. Another idea we were kicking around that was kind of interesting was the idea of doing a Bambi dark ride.
Ooh, oh, hey, of course you have the huge moment in that one, yeah.
And of course, Tyrus Wong, may he rest in peace. He was 106 years old, so he stayed in there, but he recently passed away. Tyrus Wong was the man who was responsible for giving us the backgrounds and the style of Bambi.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you did a dark ride, it'd be a perfect way to kind of, submit that guy's legacy, and kind of like have like a living, breathing kind of a tribute to his art. And that's what I really feel like you'd focus on with a Bambi ride, would be the artistry of it and the environments and the atmosphere.
Yeah, Tiki, that sounds great. I think he was smart enough to go with that one because as great as that would look, and I think the animation fans us would deeply appreciate it. And again, just for your average park goer, I think again it kind of peaks at the iconic moment, and the rest of it's nice and it's good substance. So
Dragon, I disagree with that. I think some of the stuff in the third act of Bambi is really, really good and kind of underappreciated. Like the forest fire and the fight with the wolves and the ending, man. I don't know. You're right. I think for most people, you're right. The iconic thing of Bambi is kind of the mother getting shot. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry, it's just the culture we live in.
I'm gonna raise your spoiler with a bigger spoiler. In Roger Rabbit, the villain was his background. That's on his unofficial background is that he's the one that shot Bambi's mom.
Oh God, I wish they would have gone with that in canon. I wish that was a canon thing.
Well, basically, they say it happened, but it's never referenced in the movie. So it's for all intents and purposes, it did happen.
I know, but I just wish it would have been referenced in the movie, though. Like, could you imagine?
What is this?
What? Go ahead.
No, what is this you guys are talking about?
The villain in Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit, basically. Yes, Judge. Okay.
Spoiler alert!
That's a thing too. I'm going to spoil the heck out of Roger. So basically, Judge Doom, when it's revealed that Judge Doom is what Judge Doom is. A tune. He's not just any tune, as he says, not just any tune. No, more specifically, he's the tune that
remember Bambi's mother, Eddie? Remember how you cried about that as a child?
He was the off-screen hunter. It's kind of like he go hunting on the side and hey, I got a few bucks.
No, but in all seriousness, though, just to defend Bambi, I truly feel like, the stuff with Bambi as a kid and Thumper and all that is like the the classic stuff from that movie, but I truly feel like the artistic stuff really comes in that second half, and that second half is kind of underrated.
Well, Tiki, I'm going to say that's a very fair point. It's been ages since I've seen Bambi, so I think you might be onto something there. But I'm just saying
the thing with Bambi is that it's like a painting. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like one of the least watchable Disney movies, to tell you the truth, because it's mostly all artistry. There's not really a lot of entertainment.
And that's my fear for the ride, though. It's like it would be the same effect. But again, maybe we should get off the Bambi subject.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, when we got to Woody's Roundup, first of all, Nadine Reith kind of helped us decide on the placement of this, because he actually worked at Rancho del Zocalo, which is where this eventually wound up. And he said, like, out of all the places in the park, like, this would probably be the optimal fit for especially like a dark ride. Like, it's not a ton of space, but it's enough space for a dark ride, and it'd fit right in. It'd be kind of like it'd be right next to Big Thunder. Like, it'd really be a good location. It's kind of like right on the border between Frontierland and Fantasyland. There's actually a tunnel right next to Rancho del Zocalo that directly leads to Fantasyland. So I feel like that would be a good kind of placement in terms of like Fantasyland style. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'd be a good kind of connecting point between the two. Anyways, I guess kind of to talk about some concepts that didn't make it off. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I talk about the concepts that didn't make it off the drawing board, or
so
we kind of
more
get
like
into that?
Ideas just didn't pan out. You worked.
No. I mean, like once we got into the Woody's Roundup concept, like stuff that didn't eventually make it into the finished product.
I say, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, what were some of the abandoned concepts, Tiki?
Okay. First of all, just really quick, one of the other ideas that was thrown around was a Pecos Bill dark ride, which is really funny because one of the oldest armchair Imagineering concepts I had, where I actually like fully wrote it out and everything, was a Pecos Bill e-ticket, where it would have been like basically a dramatic kind of like reenactment, kind of like putting you into the world of a cheesy 1950s serial starring Pecos Bill. And it would have had like a cliffhanger and product placement and all that stuff.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I might see if I'm thinking of the right thing here too. That's the short from Dalmatians, right?
No. Pecos Bill is it's one of the shorts from Melody Time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching the Floyd Norman thing. I got confused. I'm sorry.
Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
That's I was sorry. My bad. Continue.
Canine Crunchies.
Yep.
Hooray for Canine Crunchies.
Yeah, they redid that sequence, by the way, which is impressive. They kind of added more to that. I'm sorry, go on, please.
Anyways. So one of the concepts that I always had in the back of my mind that I really wanted to do, and I still really want to do someday, is the concept of having a commercial break in the middle of a fucking attraction. I'm sorry for the language, but
that is a cool idea, though.
The emphasis is needed. The emphasis is needed.
It's a very good idea.
It had to be pulled off nicely because you don't want to break any kind of tension the ride is giving off.
Well, that's kind of like the dilemma, right? And that's why we didn't really get into it with the Woody's Roundup Dark Ride. And dark rides and e-tickets are two different things. Like e-tickets, it's much more grand and you can do a lot more stuff with it. Whereas dark rides kind of follow that familiar structure, so it has to have like kind of a certain pace to it. Mm-hmm. Let me frame out how Pecos Bill worked. So essentially with my idea for Pecos Bill was that he'd be in a very precarious situation. I don't remember exactly what. And then it looks like something's going to go down. And then we go into a tunnel and we hear the narrator say, "Will Pecos Bill get out of this mess? Find out after a quick word from our sponsors." And then you go into a room and have like a commercial. I didn't really have like, my idea was kind of like a big like Who Framed Roger Rabbit style. Like, you got Tony the Tiger, you got the Star-Kissed Tuna, you have Mr. Peanut. I mean, licensing wise, that would be a nightmare. But it would.
I actually think I have an idea of how you could pull that off, honestly. But
okay.
Basically, this is gonna sound like a weird comparison, but the Simpsons ride. While I am not again, if I would trade whatever it takes to get the Back to the Future ride back, I will give it this. I think its sense of timing is really interesting. It has a good sense of timing on the Simpsons ride. And basically, what you could do with that, imagine you're in a ride of some sort. and you're in a precarious situation where like, oh my god, we're gonna be, and that's your stay tuned moment. And basically, right as basically you're in the clutches of something really bad's about to happen, your heart's pumping a mile a minute. Then you get like a quick it spins you around or something to like the advertisement. And you're like, oh, and then the advertisement goes, and then you're spun right back into like the clutches of terror. And that's you basically get you still get the thrill you were still in the midst of, but because it just catches you off guard, like, oh, that was a brief advertisement. Like, oh god.
I like that. And of course, Woody's Roundup actually does have kind of like a built-in brand attached to it, Cowboy Crunchies. So
exactly, that's one of the brilliant things about the whole Woody's Roundup idea, because it makes sense as an actual brand within the. Again, Pixar's always been great with the branding. BNL, Woody's Roundup. I love that they build kind of a universe of it's such a rich tapestry of like Gusteau's restaurant, such a rich tapestry of merchandising opportunities.
Speaking of which, Dragon, have you seen that video that's been floating around?
What video?
The one that was put out by Pixar itself that basically confirms the Pixar theory.
Oh, it does not. Don't you're talking about that Easter egg video?
What?
I think you're talking about the Easter egg video. The one
I'm talking about the
that's
Easter
not
egg.
The Pixar theory. Don't buy into these. That is not them confirming that is them saying, hey,
no, but I basically think that's less them confirming that it all takes place in one cohesive universe.
No, it's not. It's not. The tradition. They just show
different movies. You have Pizza Planet in different movies.
They just showcase that they like to tease characters into the next movie. They showed it like a sequence. So the way it goes, they put in the years of the production. That's the only difference. They just show you like how it's like goes from year to year, and it looks like a conspiracy.
It's totally a conspiracy, man.
It is not a conspiracy.
Just like Dragon, I swear to God, if you look up Lucy, you've got some splaining to do. You won't find any clips of it, man. It's real. I'm sorry.
We're trailing off here.
You're really getting hyped up about this, Tiki.
The Mandela effect has been tripping me out, man. I've been losing sleep over it.
Oh, trust me, I know. I know what that's like.
Pay no attention to this man. Let's continue with our fine broadcast we're doing.
Sandy, you and I need to do a Mandela Effect podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for that brief tangent.
That was a brief tangent brought to you by Cowboy Crunchies, a healthy treat.
Okay, so one of the things that we actually kind of tossed around was the idea of like how retro do we want to go with the look. I'm really glad they kept the look of the puppets. I'm really glad they went with the strings and everything. I think that's super cool, and that makes it really unique.
Oh yeah, I was really impressed by that one too. I was reading, they're like, yeah, they're going for broke here, really keeping the tone of the thing, because they could have instantly it would have still been kind of cool if they just, they went the full 9 yards of it, which is very impressive. But they still could have gone like, okay, well you're in the world of the fictional show, like with Bonnie's Playtime or something, like with the games and like the Toy Story Mania is doing. You're
kind of what they do with the Buzz Lightyear ride, right?
Yeah, kind of. You're in the world of the show, so to speak. Yeah, so you're kind of like in the midst of it's all real and that it's not toys, but necessarily, but it's the actual. Yeah.
Okay. I do like how they went the extra mile with it. Now, one of the points of contention, guys, pretty much the main thing that we talked about here was how should we handle the color scheme? We tossed around a variety of options. We went with either black and white, sepia, or what we ultimately ended up going with, which was washed out colors, kind of like washed out, faded, but also having segments of black and white here and there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I really like how that went down. That's about all I've got to say in regards to that. Okay, so should we get into the actual meat of the project, guys?
Yeah. Put it on the grill, man. Let's go for a kingpin steak, man. Let's go through it.
Let's go for a kingpin steak. Oh, God. Okay, so we start out. Like I said, I think this is kind of hitting on the location right here. I really do feel like Frontierland is kind of like it's almost cannibalizing itself at this point. Because you've got Star Wars Land on one side, you've got I don't know. I feel like the only thing that's happening in Frontierland is always Big Thunder Mountain. And then you've got the Rivers of America. I'm glad that's coming back. That's been dormant for too long. And they're going to do some stuff with it. Hopefully, I'm hearing rumors that they're going to take away the Pirates Lair stuff from Tom Sawyer's Island, and I really hope that's the case. But anyways. So, yeah, just in terms of placement, I do think it's important, like, once you get Star Wars Land out of the way, because that's obviously the big project that everyone's looking at, you really need to have something in Frontierland to kind of, like, you know, kind of even out the crowds a little bit. Because, like I said, at that point, the only thing there is Big Thunder Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Big Thunder Mountain, it's great. Big Thunder Mountain's still one of my favorite rides at Disneyland. It really is. It really holds up, especially the recent refurbishment they've done on it. But, you know, that's not going to save a whole land. I still think what they should do with Frontierland is just, like, just for the sake of brevity, combine Frontierland with Critter Country. But what do I know, right? Anyways. So yeah, you know, just in terms of location, that's why we went with that. And like I said, Rancho del Zacala it's kind of like the perfect fit, right? Because it has like that, has a really big outdoor dining area. It's got a big kitchen. It's got an expansive kind of, you know, kind of indoor area. So there's not a ton of room, but it's just enough.
Well, just to put it simply, again, it's kind of putting Woody in the Old West, which is very appropriate. You know, it's kind of
sure. And like I said, also it's kind of the border between Fantasyland and Frontierland, which I feel is very appropriate for Woody.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, that's even better. I didn't think of that. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and also, Dragon, you might notice the complement to the Marvel expansion across the Esplanade. That's, folks, I really don't know if we're going to get that by 2020. I feel like that's kind of being optimistic. I'm just saying. The Marvel expansion to California Adventure is absolutely coming. Dragon, you and I kind of touched on that when we talked about the Iron Man experience. You know, I kind of laid out my plans for, you know, California Adventure, like, oh, here we should have a Captain America ride, and here we should have a Spider-Man ride. So, you know, that's what they're referring to. But like I said, 2020, like, I love the optimism. But I don't know. I mean, maybe, but Star Wars Land, you know, they'd have to break ground, like, immediately if they want to get it done by 2020. So, anyways, I mean, technically, Guardians of the Galaxy will be open this year, but anyways, I digress. So, Woody's Roundup Adventure. Do you like the fact that this is the first attraction to be sponsored by a fictional company?
Yeah.
Pretty
Funny.
cool.
Nice touch.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, the puppet strings are a really good touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, here's something that I wish I could have been a little bit more hands-on about. This was a mistake. This bothers me, and I wish I would have caught this in the actual brainstorming.
What?
The Golden Horseshoe Saloon, which has been like the staple of Disneyland, like one of the iconic locations of Frontierland since opening day. Like, Walt and Lily had their wedding anniversary at the Golden Horseshoe Saloon before the park was even open to the public. And it bothers me that they just like, oh, it's a saloon. And like I said, this is one of the things where if I were paying closer attention after they got this concept together, I probably would have been like, we should go with something other than a saloon, guys.
What's wrong with the saloon? I like the saloon.
Well, Dragon, like I said, we have the Golden Horseshoe Saloon, which is like just like you walk into the Golden Horseshoe Saloon and you just get a whiff of like Walt history in that building. Like it's one of the places at Disneyland where you can just feel Walt Disney's presence in a weird way.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying in that regard is it's so iconic as a saloon that I don't really think you can put another saloon in Frontierland.
I definitely see where you're coming from with that.
I mean, Sandy, unless of course you're talking about the I assume your beloved shooting gallery has a saloon in there somewhere.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
I will say this: what I do appreciate about this saloon ticket, I do like it's kind of really boxy, like the sets in the Woody's Roundup TV show.
Mm-hmm. I also like the the decal on the building, the cards and the dice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like in theory, this would probably work really well. Well, no, it wouldn't even really work well in Frontierland at Disney World because they have the Diamond Horseshoe Saloon. So not quite as much rich history there, but it's still kind of like I said, it's like I kind of more take the blame on this than I do then I kind of equate the blame to the people on the team, because I really should have caught this. If I did catch this, this is one of the things I totally would have. It would have been a quick fix. Like, I would have totally had the exterior be like, maybe like some rock work with an over-the-top sign for the villain's hideout or something like that. Like, oh, the villain's hideout is totally not here. You know what I mean? Like, that's more what I would have done with the exterior, especially kind of have it blend in with Thunder Mountain as well.
I think just have it fit. I think just have it fit a little more. The saloon is good. I just think just have it fit a little bit better with just the world, I guess, you see in the television show, the really shoddy television show. Even though it's not really much of a world, but it definitely has its own style and everything to it.
Well, like Dragon said, I do think that the boxy quality of this building fits that pretty well.
Yeah, but I just mean like the cartoony aspect of it, which it definitely has.
Right.
Importantly, I do love the immersive. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry.
This is what happens when we have 4 people on the podcast.
please go ahead.
I love the immersive quality. Like, again, it's like you're stepping into a saloon, much like like you're putting yourself as a cowboy, as like you're in the old west kind of mode, and again you're walking right into the world of the woods around it in a way. So again, it's kind of a good, version.
Okay, so here we get to the main bars. Yeah, you're right, Dragon. It's like I do like. It's kind of like.
These are the touches I liked right here. Like all these touches here, like
the honky tonk piano, the saloon.
Yeah, the piano's kind of somehow that that the creepy tune piano that plays by itself, sort of thing.
I gotta tell you, Westworld has ruined that imagery for me. I'm sorry. It's just like when I see a piano playing by itself, I'm like, I don't think like, oh, charming old West setting anymore. Anyways, I think like, oh God, blood and death and.
So they point something out here with.
I'm sorry.
With Dusty Dan here. So I like this image of him, and I love the little detail with the Lightning McQueen lightning bolt on the tie thing.
All credit to the image, to the artwork in this project has to go to Mr. Pie on My Cake. I really like that.
What? Pie on my cake?
Pie on my cake.
Pie on my cake.
As in the periodic, the periodic element pie.
Oh, so wait. So it's like icing.
On my cake.
So there's iced pie on the cake.
No, as in like it's the yeah.
That's what I mean. Sure. Like it's the iced pie logo on a cake.
Sure. Well,
it's symbol, not logo.
Let's just go with that.
Yes. However, some of your grabs are more than other bits. I really do like this one. If you scroll down a little to the reward map, this though.
Oh, this is a great touch.
I appreciate the 1995, but come on, that many zeros. Come on.
I actually went to a Texas speech and actually figured out how much that is.
How much is it? How much is it, Jacob?
$956 billion.
Don't you think that's just a little much? Just a smidge.
Dragon, let me tell you why I think this works perfectly, and it's actually one of my favorite details in this project. To me, it almost feels like an homage to the classic Big Thunder Mountain dropping population sign, where that sign is another kind of bit of over-the-top imagery where you have all these numbers of like the people in the town, like population, so and so, and it's like all these numbers are crossed out, like kind of showcasing like, yeah, the population in this town is dropping rapidly. Stuff is going down in this town.
Here's what it reminds me of, Tiki. It reminds me of the first introduction to Woody, honestly enough, from the first Toy Story film, and hence 1995 there, where, remember, it's like bazillion-dollar spelled wrong on the boxes when Mr. Potato had, one-eyed Bart. Like, it's kind of taken back to, like, a fictional, technically not fictional, but very almost impossible. Very impractical number. So it points us like a ridiculous amount of money.
Right, but like I said, it kind of reminds me of like Mark Davis humor in a way, and I like it. I like it. But I see your point. I see your point. It is a
I
little
do
over the top.
love the Easter egg of 1995. That's good.
Yeah, that's great. You know what, Dragon? It's funny. I didn't even catch that until you pointed it out. Good
How did
catch.
you not catch that? Come on.
Sorry. You know what? The first thing I see when I see the numbers is all the zeros. I don't see the 1995. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, I think I really just personally offended Dragon right there. I'm sorry. Anyways,
Okay, so this, let me tell you, this is one of my favorite details of the thing. I love to expand upon this, honestly. I think it's kind of missed opportunity, but also a really good idea. I love the whole, in the queue here, you walk through this kind of cool old-timey saloon. Again, from what I understand, Team, correct me if I'm wrong here, my understanding of what this is thrown at me, it's basically, we're entering through kind of the saloon in the modern day, and basically once you enter the ride, then we get into the black and white sepia stuff and everything.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Which
kind
I
of
think
like
is a cool idea.
through time. Yeah.
And again, it's kind of cool because you're watching the exploits, and then you're transported into those exploits as you walk forward. But also, just the idea of playing the part of the episode, which again is kind of the good recap. But not it's a good setup for what the whole premise of how the ride's going to start. Like, okay, Woody's tailed by Mudslinger, right? I think he's tailed by Mudslinger into the saloon. Then later on, it's Dusty.
I'm sorry, I don't have the name of the. I just know Dusty Dan.
Malcolm Mudslinger. My point is, I'm pretty sure Malcolm Mudslinger is the one who's tailing Woody into the saloon, which again I think is kind of a neat touch. It ties. And basically, I would have gone a little further with it. Basically, I don't know. I think this still would have been kind of cool if you're kind of entering in somewhat of the modern, just kind of looking upon the old west of like if we made a little bit of a museum quality again with like kind of that Pixar displays, bring up like all the kind of merchandise or kind of stuff from Woody's Roundup.
Oh, that would have been cool. You're right.
The main
That would have
thing,
been
and
a
this,
great
I love
room.
that this is a Pixar. I would have loved just to see this in this attraction, Tiki. I would have loved the Time magazine because they actually have a Time magazine with John Lasseter's birthday on the year for when it came out.
Hold on, Dragon. Hold that thought. I'm going to give you a reference photo from the Walt Disney Family Museum. But go ahead. I'm going to circle back to the wall of Woody merchandise.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, seeing all that stuff, again, the cool stuff, again, just getting the mindset reminding you, oh, yeah, Woody's around. Basically, you're experiencing Woody's reaction to all the emergencies, basically the world of Woody's Roundup, and you're getting queued up for the ride. So it's kind of putting you in the headspace when you enter, and then you're, oh, my God, I'm in the show, and it's all cruddy and awesomely dated and beat up footage, looking marionettes and everything. It's taking you just to the mindset of Toys R Us, which a lot of people have seen. And if not, that little footage that you're going to see, which I would imagine be a recreation using the kinescope stuff from original Toy Story 2.
Oh, I'm sure they go all out with that. Yeah.
As I'm saying, basically, again, it's going to instantly remind people of, okay, this is what they're going for. That's really cool. Even if they're not fully even the kids, if the kids aren't really getting it, they're going to just visually, okay, it's like that one scene from that movie, and then, oh my God, I'm in that movie, essentially.
Okay, sorry, guys.
The museum quality would be
There it is. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up a little reference photo for what it might look like with this wall.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, that merchandise would look really cool, along with all the stuff you have here. It's basically a little addition to it, that's all. It's a really cool idea. It's a little barren, that sounds to me. Like, okay, it's all cool. We could use more of Woody's Roundup in here.
Well, and it's funny because the old-timey TVs kind of like are also one of the things that we have at the museum. Yeah. So I feel like if you would have merged that with this image that I'm about to pull off, it would have been perfect. Like, see, like this wall of like Mickey merchandise.
Yeah, and also
buy this bread.
And you know
you want it. You want it.
Okay, dude.
But it'd be really cool
bread.
too.
It looks like really good bread. Come on now. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dragon Wile.
I might have lost it here.
Okay.
What's up, Dragon?
That's embarrassing. But I had the idea that Tiki could bring up the bread, and I lost it.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's totally my fault.
Okay,
God.
something about the Woodies. Right, I got it. Found it. Basically, in real life, we have the awesome. They did this Toy Story collection of like they showed you the boxes that the toys came in that we never saw in the movies. It was like a really inventive line. So basically, all the Woodies Roundup. Basically, like the Prospectors
that
boxes.
sounds really cool.
Imagine if we saw the actual toys like Woodies and Jessies
I
and
like
Bumbles
that.
in the box in the display case like that, or
Well,
in
I'm
the
actually-
shop or something or whatever you want to put it. But put it there.
You bring that up, Dragon. I'm still just completely in awe of how they have not done that with the merchandising yet.
Well, they did.
Well, I mean, they did the Prospector in his box.
Well, everything but the Prospector, oddly enough, he's the only one. Again, was basically.
The irony. I wonder if they did that intentionally.
Here's the thing. It's like they did. I collected all of these things because I love them so much.
I'm sure you did.
And John Lasseter, because they had some interactive technology in them too. So like Woody and they have like an interactive thing where if they hear a voice, they'll say something to you, and like the heads will turn. It's really cool.
Oh, that sounds almost.
Well, I know they did a Prospector of some sort, but he doesn't.
I know it's like what they were so accurate with all like you got to see the box that Woody came like they all had specialized box. Jesse's was a little pinker, and Woody had his, and Bullseye had a box, and everyone with the Prospector, and they came out with a really cool Zurg like that, but he didn't have the awesome anti-Buzz Lightyear ship box, which I would have killed for.
What about the Buzz Lightyear figure? Did they have?
He had the box too. Like when we landed in again, even Rex, you got to see what box Rex and the potato head came in. It's amazing.
I hope the box that Potato Head came in was just like the standard Mr. Potato.
Well, yeah,
Head
but they
box.
recreated just like in the 90s though. It's like 90s dated.
That's awesome.
I know they had the little green aliens that came in their box because I bought one a few years ago. But they need to like do some alien squeaky toys like in the film. Gosh.
And I also got the Army Men too, because they all came with this. All these boxes come with like a certificate of authenticity and the bucket of soldiers. The bucket of soldiers.
Dragon, I gotta say, out of like all the merchandise and stuff that you've talked to me about that you have, that might be the thing that I'm the most jealous of.
Even got a few versions of Buzz. I got Buzz with the utility belts because they did that one. I got.
Can you show us?
No.
No. Okay.
You got the basically not even it's the Spanish Buzz, but at the same time as he's Spanish Buzz, he has like the face of like it's kind of a unique one. He has the the Lotso controlled Buzz face, but he also speaks Spanish. It's kind of a twofer.
Oh no! Oh god.
Anyway, sorry. Let's. But the point is like having like kind of the screen accurate boxes. Like also kind of the cool novelty of oh my god, we get to see what they actually have some versions of the Woody doll, so it's like, oh, this is where it's coming from in the first place. It's like they collected, it's like an action, it's like so screen accurate, like, oh my god, the Woody's Round thing might have make the kiddies kind of wonder, oh my god, was there an actual Woody's Roundup show in real life?
Okay, so what do you guys think of the whole black and white motif we have going on?
Well, I like it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Me too.
I don't know if I find it. Yeah, I think it's great.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to like put you on the spot.
Are you the one guy that doesn't like it, Sandy?
No, I'm just the one guy who hasn't read it.
Sandy. I linked it to you like 4 hours ago, man. Come on now.
I know.
Sandman.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, Sandy. Come
You're
on.
crushing the man's dreams, Sandy.
but it's almost all a picture, so I could read this in a matter of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You could read it in a matter of minutes, which gives you even less of an excuse. I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's not. However, whoever wrote this, I got some issues with them because there's some descriptions in this thing that I take issue with because I don't really quite get it. Like one thing right here, I don't get the lone sunglass wearing cactus.
That's actually a reference to Western River Expedition, where they had sentient cactuses.
I like the bunnies with the cigars, though. Or the
Well,
carrots.
they're not cigars, they're-
The dynamite.
I'm going to rant about that when we get to it. That's my biggest
Really?
problem with this whole thing.
Really?
We'll get there.
Oh, come on.
I'm
Come
honestly
on.
shocked because that is
it's like-
actually one of my favorite moments.
I'm
Dragon.
saying it's
shocked.
cool,
Yeah.
but it's written very bad. It makes no sense.
Okay.
I like it
just
because it's like the goat chewing on dynamite. If they're realistic,
that's exactly what it is. It's meant to be an homage to that. Exactly.
We'll get to the specifics. But anyway, though.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So,
I love
Dragon-
the ride vehicle. Can I mention I really love the
Oh
idea?
yeah, sure.
The stagecoach as a really kind of makes sense, like kind of like an 8-seater, sort of like however many seaters. Like a really cool idea of like, okay, this is how we get around this, how we trail, because that's how you would trail. I mean, it's really cool.
That makes sense.
That's kind of a gutsy one that, honestly, if it weren't in the puppet form, I wouldn't. This one might be a hard sell for me. We've never seen Woody with the gun. We've always seen the empty holster, and in Toy Story 3 we saw him with the ropes. But if it was like kind of the marionette style, I could definitely buy. Okay, well, he's using the gun in this because it's the Old West, and they really kind of thought about marketing and stuff in the grand.
Oh yeah. If I've learned anything from my visit to Knott's Berry Farm, is that cowboys use guns. I mean, come on. Knott's Berry Farm loves their gunslinging cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, I love Knott's Berry Farm so much. I want to go back. I'm sorry. Dragon, I have a feeling that some of the stuff you're iffy with is kind of some of the stuff I'm iffy with as well, which is some of the wording of some of these scenes. Like, for example, like Bullseye races into the tavern holding a paper in his mouth. Woody exclaims, "Oh gosh, Jesse's in trouble," before racing off. I don't necessarily know how you do that in a dark ride format.
No, I think I can see how that might be able. That one didn't bother me because I just figured, okay, well, it's just gonna be like one of those things where like the doors like on a loop or kind of door up, Bullseye kind of burst in.
Yeah, but then how do you get Woody on the horse riding off? Like, you'd have to have an animatronic of Woody literally mounting the horse.
Well, I figured what I figured it was going to do is going to do kind of the Peter Pan thing, where it's like every time you turn a corner, it's like, okay, we're in the next, like basically it's the next still, so to speak, like the next. He's on the horse. We don't see him mount the horse, but he's on the horse and he's moving now.
Okay, I like that. I just like, again, this is one of those things where I definitely take more than partial responsibility for this, because if I really should have looked over some of this stuff and kind of maybe fine-tuned it a little bit to get some of these details down, because Dragon, yeah, you're right, that probably is how it would work, but in reality, and this is kind of one of my pet peeves when it comes to dark rides, like the scene, like when I'm reading the scene, it plays more like I'm reading like the scene of a Woody's Roundup TV show than I am of like a dark ride interpretation of a Woody's Roundup TV show. Does that make sense?
Well, let me throw you this. I had a stylistic idea. I was wondering what you guys think of this.
Okay.
What could be kind of cool just for the style of the ride is if you had, maybe not necessarily this, but it's like kind of approximation, like a strobe light and projection sound going on as the whole ride's going on. Make it feel like it's the show playing an old film.
That might get a little irritating.
Well, I'm saying it's like light in the background. I'm not saying, again, strobe light's probably the wrong. It's like not going to be, like it's coming from behind. It's not coming from in front of you.
Like some kind of projector type.
I like where you're coming from, Dragon.
Like the idea of it's projecting in front of you, you're in the footage. That's kind of the idea.
That's interesting. You might have to kind of like fine tune it in terms of like how exactly you'd pull it off. Which
the main thing I'm thinking about is like a low kind of projection noise in the background, maybe a back. That's all I really got right now. So if it's strobe lights, the main way I was thinking like kind of lumping those two together. It doesn't really. It's not exactly coming from the front though, so it's coming from the back.
Would you be able to hear that over all the sound effects and music though? I mean, little projector.
That's
sound effect?
Yeah, that's fair. Again, it's kind of a broad concept. So yeah, I'm saying like it was low enough.
I personally I like that a lot.
But I gotta tell you, in terms of story, I really do like. Kind of the idea again. We pick up right where the queue left off, or Woody's just kind of in the middle of this, kind of like he was kind of a gunfight in the middle of. He was in a fight with an outlaw, and they just kind of bring him in. So they go a little kind of like a James Bondian opening with.
Well, this is exactly kind of it's the same kind of tone I wanted to do with my Pecos Bill Dark Ride back in the day, which was put you into the middle of the action and then leave you on a cliffhanger, which is exactly what a serial would do.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some issue with the ending when we get there, but let me mention this. I really love these other names though, and part of me wishes it's not a big issue, but with the names here, Malcolm Mudslinger, who was the one that kind of made the cut for the one that Woody's going up against, and that's okay, but I think the other names are better here. I love Cactus Carl and. There's Cactus Carl. I mean, I guess it's later on. There's Cactus Carl. There's Dan O'Might. I love Dan O'Might.
Dan O'Might is really good.
And this third one's nice.
Like my Academy villain.
Because think about it, if you yeah, you're right. Those sound like a super good. But Dan O'Might would actually make more sense for this ride given the use of dynamite. Because okay, maybe the guys were in league with each other a little bit. You know, maybe Dan was supplying.
That's true. Also, Dragon, I'm glad you like Cactus Carl because I came up with that one. Thank you.
Cactus Carls are really good, and also what's really cool about that is that I doubt that you pulled this, but you could surprise me. I don't know. Remember Jessie used to, in the original draft of Toy Story 2, Jessie was a cactus. She was a sentient cactus.
No, I wish I could say I used that poll, but having
Well,
said that,
I'm sorry. No, I'm screwing that. But no, she was actually cactus themed. Though it was like cactus something or
Cactus
other.
Kate. Cactus Kate.
It was cactus. Wait, what are you getting? Oh, right. No, it's.
I'm pretty sure it was Cactus Kate.
Yeah. No, it was Senorita. It was Senorita Cactus. Oh, I remember it now. One of the drafts, it was Senorita Cactus. I kid you not. They were. That's a big. I'm sorry, go on.
Does Andy call Jessie Cactus Kate then?
That'd be awfully weird seeing Buzz in love with a cactus.
No. Here's the thing. I think I misremembered because I was reading the script way back.
Doesn't Andy give? I'm sorry, this is like getting into deep semantics of Toy Story here, but if I'm remembering correctly, I haven't watched the Toy Story movies in a while. But doesn't Andy have?
It was like Calamity Jane or something, wasn't it? Like
Right.
Jane
He's got a different name for Jessie because he doesn't know it's Jessie. He doesn't know the history. So,
okay. But he looked it up online at some point. That's why he calls her Jessie later. He learns about Woody's Roundup at some point.
That's true. I'm talking mostly like the end of Toy Story 2. Yeah.
But anyway, well, just for the confusion on the cactus, and basically in the script for Toy Story 2, back when it was in kind of the developmental problems, the whole thing was going to be direct to video at that point. Basically, it was written in the script Senorita Cactus, and it was really vague. So initially, I thought she was like a sentient cactus, but then so some of the production art, and she actually just had a cactus motif, but again, Senorita Cactus. It wasn't exactly the Jessie we have now.
Sure.
That's why I flubbed that one. So for the longest time, though, I was wondering, is it a sentient cactus? It's kind of weird. Like it's kind of like it's a toy-based cactus. How does that work?
Yeah, I've seen Stranger Things. I mean, I
know you've seen Stranger Things.
I'm sorry, that was a poor. I have seen much weirder toys in Japan, Dragon. I'll leave that to your imagination. But,
my point is with the Cactus Carl, the correlation with old Senior Cactus, it might be a deep pull of like, okay, referencing a Woody's character named after a cactus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love this idea. And this I could definitely see playing on kind of like a Peter Pan. You turn the corner and okay, the bad guy's reaching in.
Yeah, you're right. Now that I'm reading it like that, it does kind of have that quality to it for sure. Yeah. I also love the. This is kind of. I want to say this is an homage to Pirates of the Caribbean. Like the never-ending struggle to get the jail cell keys.
If only they had coffee in the Old West.
You know what's funny? Just a quick kind of add on to Pirates, kind of a quick, I don't know, trivia thing, memento. I don't know the word, but I'm sorry. So Pirates of the Caribbean, like when it's running at really high capacity, when they have like a lot of boats, one of the problems of running a lot of boats is you actually get boats stacked up at the end of the ride. As the boats wait to go up the lift hill. And of course it's different in Florida because in Florida you exit the boats and then and then walk up the ramp. But at Disneyland, you actually go up the lift hill. But anyways, so the boats get backed up in that section, right? So I tell you, I have been stuck in the Pirates jail cell more times than I have been. Like, I think I have spent more physical time in the Pirates jail scene than any other scene in any Disney ride, just in terms of like the physical amount of time I've spent in that room. So it's like just the struggle is real, man. They will never get those damn keys. Never. It's never gonna happen.
Naturally. I was just thinking this is kind of off topic, but Toy Story 4, Al comes back and wants his toys back. he's hunting the little girl down. What's her name?
Bonnie. Well, remember, Bonnie. I don't know if you tell me, Sandy. I don't know if you remember this. Remember Toy Story Terror? Al actually, he's the one who buys Woody and Jessie.
That's true.
eBay,
That's true.
The eBay film, whatever it was.
What was that? What was that? I couldn't hear.
In Toy Story of Terror, the TV, the half an hour, 22-minute short that was on TV, the Halloween special, essentially. Woody and Jessie are bought online because someone steals Bonnie's toys, and she's about to basically he's selling toys from like the motel guests online, and it's kind of like an eBay film or something. But basically, someone buys Woody for a large amount, like $2,000 or something, and basically, if you look on the he puts like he prints out a sticker and a logo like who it's going to and everything. If you freeze frame, you look there, it says Alan McWiggin.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And I can only assume he also buys Jesse, seeing the seller selling both of those. Like he's reclaiming his property essentially.
That's so spot on, man.
Oh
That's
my gosh!
such a great detail.
What's that called? It's the Halloween
Toy
special.
Story of Terror. Yes, Toy Story of Terror.
Oh, you need to check out Toys R Us there, just Sandy. Oh my God, do yourself.
Really good. It's well, I mean, probably for a price, but yeah.
Combat Carl never gives up. Combat Carl finds a way. Stay in school.
Yeah. I'll be able to find. Believe me, it's going to be worth whatever you get. If you can just, it's really good.
Okay, now Dragon, I'm just going to throw this out there as a goof, but what if we did a Combat Carl ride?
I would love it. I don't know. I would love to see Carl Weathers' reaction to it, but I don't think it's gonna...
Like, I would love to do like a G.I. Joe parody.
That's the only way you really get me to care about G.I. Joe if it's all Combat Carl. That's and you could have the Combat Carl. You could homage the Combat Carl getting blown up, and it'd be like a gruesome thing, but because it's oh, and maybe you could do the in Toy Story 3. There was supposed to be Combat Carl was supposed to appear in Toy Story 3. And he was going to have his legs blown off, and he was going to instead of Chuckles, the war veteran Combat Carl, basically Sunnyside's. I believe it said Sunnyside basically has legs blown off or something. But the point is, he's like he's telling the story to Woody about what Lotso's doing at Sunnyside instead of Chuckles. But they love Bud Luck. He's like, oh my God, the sad clown telling the story. This really emotionally poignant story would be infinitely better.
Ooh, okay, so moving on.
Yes, I hear the rabbits.
Yeah, I actually really like the rabbits, man. I really like the rabbits because
I like the rabbits, but here's the problem. First and foremost, again, I love the rabbits because again they were like a funny part from the what we saw in Toy Story 2. Remember, like the whole the critters, and basically Woody does the Mr. Exposition thing. Tom Hanks does an excellent read on. Basically, he pulls a Christopher Lloyd, where he's just given like exposition like a mile a minute. With that, as the pup is just like standing still, just like as the mouth is the only thing moving. And basically, the critters go like, and then they go off. Basically, they tell Woody that Jesse's in trouble, and somehow Woody understands them. It basically, it's like a Lassie thing. You're like, Timmy's trapped in a well, essentially, pretty much about that.
Right.
About that. And I like calling back the rabbits and using them. Again, that's why the rabbits are there, because they're the most prominent. There are other critters, but the rabbits are the coolest ones out of all. But my problem is later. Well, we'll get to the thing later on. When it's on screen, I'll tell you about it. But again, I like bringing them back. I like utilizing them. I'm not poo-pooing the rabbits. I'm just poo-pooing how exactly the specifics of how they help.
All right, so we get to and I like how this whole thing has kind of a very kinetic quality to it.
Yeah.
And I could picture this scene kind of being like, okay, this is going to sound silly, but essentially I picture the scene with Woody essentially being kind of like a big version of the cliffhanger game from Price is Right.
Oh God, come on.
No, I'm serious. Like it'd be much more classy than that, but it'd use the same kind of technology. You know what I mean? Where you'd see like the Woody puppet and it's being carried up, up the mountain.
Yeah, I see it. I kind of see it now.
All right.
And here, Tiki, I'll tell you what it is. It's a mixture of that. It's staged like that, but it's kind of done in a manner very reminiscent. I'm just picturing it as a dark. There's reminiscent of the Snow White thing, where it's her pushing the rock on the side.
I could see that. Yeah.
Kind of a mixture of those two elements together. It's like more of a fully realized version of the Price is Right guy.
A Price is Right ride. That would be awesome. Linko.
Who would you go for? Would you go for Barker or would you go for Carrie?
Oh, Barker. Come on. Barker.
That's what I thought. That's what I like to
hear.
hear.
That's the only answer. I mean, Carrie, God bless you, you're trying, but Barker.
He's very merry, though. He's very pleasant.
Carrie?
Yeah, he's very pleasant.
Yeah, he's pleasant. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It's like, hell, he's doing a nice job.
All right. Anyways, I'm sorry, we're boring people. So, Sandy, here we get into some of this artwork that you love so much. Yeah.
This guy here?
Yeah, Dusty Dan.
Oh, what did I
say?
say?
Sandy.
I like how his teeth kind of look like blown out piano pieces.
Which is also
his hands?
No, teeth.
No, his teeth.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of cool? I'm sorry, Jacob, go on.
No, never mind.
I was gonna say I love it. It's kind of like when Woody in Toy Story with the Mercedes, he threw the ball at the giant Woody mouth to knock out the game. There was like you throw the ball at the thing.
Dragon, there's never been a recreation of that, has there?
I'm trying to think because they did a 3D mock-up that did. If anything, they didn't make the show Tom Hanks. They showed pictures of. So some of the things were made, some of them were. I don't believe that one was made though.
I mean, that would be one of those products that I would like run out and buy because I love the the old timey kind of like arcade quality to that. Like it kind of reminds me of something you'd see at like a boardwalk, like Coney Island or something. Anyways.
All right. But yeah, basically this is kind of the Snow White thing I'm talking about where it's like, Dabney just kind of pops out and kind of puts Woody in peril here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. So now here, another thing, this isn't like a flaw or anything, just something I would have liked to see more of the Prospector. Because again, I really want to see, it's really interesting with the Prospector because it's kind of occurred to me looking at this, it's kind of an interesting, I haven't really had this before. That, of course, you have Kelsey Grammer playing the Prospector excellently, but you also have Kelsey Grammer playing so over the top in the Woody's Roundup thing. Like it takes brains to put out this fire. He sits on the thing and he's just, the pickaxe is in his butt and the thing, but...
Well, that's the thing you have to consider with this version of the Prospector.
Yeah.
He does not have any of the villainous qualities. Spoiler alert! Any of the villainous qualities of of his toy in Toy Story 2.
What's interesting is you really wonder again, it's always kind of a speculatory thing with the Toy Story, with the rules and the logic of the Toy Story universe, kind of the illogical logic like thing.
Of course.
But, I like to think that the Prospector, he might have started out kind of like that version of himself. The toys, bear in mind, they kind of develop their own personalities, but it has to stem from something. That Woody's he's kind of the competent leader. Jessie, again, she's very friendly to the critters and stuff. And again, she's always, uplifting. Again, they go through their experiences, and in the case of the Prospector, experiences that shape them. Woody bonds with someone, Jessie, she's abandoned, and, the Bullseye's always very loyal. He's been looking for his master all these years. And with the Prospector in particular, he probably was, happy-go-lucky, and just he would have been in that happy state that he was in the show, but because he was left on the shelf, he became embittered, and he smartened up over time.
Right.
And he smartened up because basically he became so bitter to kind of smarten up. He became kind of the sideshow Bob-esque quality Kelsey Grammer can play of like, yes, I'm recontemplating life. I was supposed to be played with, and now I'm just he's so observant. I'm going to enjoy it for years to come. I'm saying, I never occurred to me he might not only become embittered, but might smartened over time.
Oh, I definitely think you're right on the money with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, Dragon. This is the first piece of art that Mr. Pie on My Cake developed for this. This was like really early on in the concept. I really liked the idea. I was like all for it. So, Dragon, what is wrong with this picture?
Can I just say something quick?
Go ahead. Yeah.
These would be realistic looking rabbits, right?
Well, no, they'd be like the Woody's Roundup rabbits, which are
this is pretty much stylistically what you'd see.
A little more cutesy, but yeah.
Well, I'd prefer more realistic looking rabbits, but
Well, I mean, if you do more realistic rabbits, Sandy, then you kind of throw off.
They're posed like real rabbits.
Yeah,
posed more realistic.
I know. I'm just saying, if this wasn't a ride like this, you had rabbits chewing on dynamite, I would prefer to see more realistic looking rabbits. But that's not something I'm going to hold against this. I mean, I still think it's cool.
To tell you the truth, I actually think it works better. Sandy, I respect your opinion, but I actually think it works better from this point of view. Mostly because, look, a goat chewing on dynamite is one thing. Yeah, it's a goat. But bunnies are so cute, man, and you don't want to see bunnies in peril. We don't want to see realistic bunny rabbits in peril. But if it's a cartoon, then it's okay, because cartoons have cartoon logic, and they'll be fine. I don't know.
This one definitely could use some supervision, because the writing on this makes no sense to me. Okay, our guys are trapped in there with some dynamite. It's a fuse ready to blow. Now, so I'm not critiquing the drawing here. Again, it's kind of an approximation of what's going on here. Because I get a sense that if you chew on the dynamite, you're gonna. But here's the thing, though. I don't get
the
what
goat's been chewing on that dynamite for 40 years. Nothing's happened to him.
No. My point is, how these rabbits save the day? There's no bearing of how does this help at all? It says it sounds like they're chewing a fuse, which either sets off the fuse or separates it. No details given there, and somehow they manage to get the dynamite to blow up still, yet no one gets killed. I don't understand. There's no way they should be survive this. They're caught in a cave with dynamite. How is this? They use the dynamite to blow their way out of there. How does that work?
It's a cartoon.
I know it's a cartoon, but still, it's like okay, the rabbits.
That's literally like the only thing I have is like.
Well, I'm saying I think it would have been cool if like they chewed through the fuse so it doesn't go off, and then they find some other way out of there. But it just sounds like okay, they chewed through it somehow, and then they somehow used dynamite to escape.
Well, I mean, like I said, I kind of think it speaks to the theory of like since it's cartoon rabbits and dynamite, like I don't know, like to me, like if this was a scene in, let's say Big Thunder Mountain where the goat chews on dynamite and then it explodes, but the goat's fine. I think that would be less realistic. Like I said, I think really what it comes down to for me and why I think it's fine is like, yeah, logically it maybe won't make sense that everyone. I mean, like, look, here's what I think it is actually. I don't necessarily like. I'm kind of just spitballing here, but I don't necessarily think the dynamite that's in the rabbit's mouth goes off. Because if you look at that picture, there's like a bigger spark, right?
No, I'm not talking about. I thought that's like the artistic kind of representation. What's going on? It doesn't mean that's exactly. Again, I'm not saying it's. I'm not talking about him chewing.
Well, I'm just saying, like the way I picture this is like they're not all standing like right next to the dynamite. You know what I mean? It's like the dynamite could be like a little ways off. It could be in a corner or something. It's like, and yeah, it stretches it stretches physics somewhat, but. Like I said, it's a cartoon, so... Again,
it's less about the rabbits thing. It's more about our guys. Or, what do you... Jesse,
well, yeah, but like I said, if they're in a cave and they have dynamite and it goes off, like I said, it's like, I can kind of buy into, like, yeah, they just weren't in the range of the explosion. I mean, that's really, like... I don't know. I don't really think that's that big of a logical fallacy right there. I don't know.
There's enough dynamite to get them all killed, but all right, fine. I still think they could have came up with a different solution with the rabbit. I like the rabbits coming to the rescue. I wish was a little more explained. Like I need a little bit more of the how. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, we're almost done here. Well, I don't know. Let's see. So how? Yeah, you're right. I mean, here is the representation of the TNT. Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of dynamite.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fuse itself like that. I'm not talking about chewing I'm talking about like this. Like they cut a fuse, like they chewed through the fuse or something. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, okay, Dragon, I'll give you that. Like, look at this poor rabbit. He's standing, like, right there. That rabbit would be dead.
Yeah, like I'm not talking cartoon. Here's the thing, I'm not talking about the cartoon physics. I'm talking about I need in the description of how this is supposed to work so I can buy into it. I can't really buy into this as a pitch. You're like, okay, so how our guys not get blown up, and how do the rabbits help without getting blown up?
All right, fair enough.
The rabbits make the ultimate sacrifice. That's just.
But again, even when it sounds counterproductive, it sounds like if they sparked it as they bit it, it would have just killed them faster.
Okay. Okay, so I do like the way they did this chase scene, though. I like the
yeah, this is cool.
The projection, and it very much kind of feels like the old timey kind of Woody Roundup stuff we would have gotten.
Imagine that Randy Newman theme. Dun, 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 dun.
Sure. Now, here's something I really love. I really love how they tie in the exit gift shop into the actual ride.
Yeah, this is cool. I love this. And I love how it's staged too. I love how you're on the outside of watching the thing go on. Basically, you're only one side of the glass as you're watching the chase go on the inside there.
Right.
Sounds it's kind of a cool way of like seeing the events unfold while you're still getting like kind of a different. But you're not
actually, Dragon. That's not entirely how it goes down. I think how it goes down is that Dusty Dan, retreats into the store.
Yeah.
And then we actually, we're not inside the store with him. We pass by the outside of the store. We pass by the outside window.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're outside. We're on the outside.
Okay.
We're watching them. Like I'm assuming Woody's pursuing Dusty Dan on the inside there, and we're just watching it from the outside.
Well, here's the thing: is that I actually thought that the way I read it is that it's just kind of a cool, breaking the fourth wall of oh look, there's the there's the gift shop. I don't
still
know.
Have that. It's still there. I'm just saying that's how we're watching it, though. That's how we're watching it unfold, which is still really cool.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, would there be puppet Woody chasing puppet Dan in in the gift shop? Like, would that be a fixture of the gift shop?
Well, I mean,
it could be.
I'm saying,
I'm
the gift shop's still going to exist after they have their chase. I just figured, we don't have to have the chase go on ad infinitum as we go in there every time.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, logistically, if you're passing by the gift shop and the whole point of the window is like, oh, look, it's the gift shop. It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean with the blue bayou at Disneyland. It's like, oh, look, it's the restaurant. So logistically, if you pass by the window and you're saying, Dragon, I'm sorry to get hung up on this detail, but, you're saying, like, I don't know. Like
we're watching it unfold.
All right.
And we know it's the gift shop. Like, oh, hey, look, it's the gift. I'm saying it's the same thing you're saying there. It's like, oh, hey, look, it's the gift shop. We're watching it unfold, and we're going to be in there momentarily.
Right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so hung up on that. Anyways.
I had a pet cat once.
You did?
That came out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Are you okay, Sandy?
Let's just move on.
It sounded
I'm
like
just
you
trying
just
to
had a
change
stroke
the
there.
subject so we can move on.
Did it blow up chewing dynamite like the cat that got electrocuted in National Lampoon's
Sure.
Christmas Vacation?
It blew up and there are parts everywhere. Let's just leave it like that.
So Dragon, you mentioned the whole projector thing, and I do think they kind of recreate that somewhat with the, the flashes of light and the old-timey camera and whatnot, and then we have the saloon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they could have done that within the whole attraction, but I do like that they kind of, they focus on that a little bit. We see the movie theater and the screen flickering and whatnot. So what do you guys think of ending it on cliffhanger?
And here's the thing: ending on the mid-jump cliffhanger, which of course we saw in the movie. That was like the last episode. Woody was, mid-jump cliffhanger. Now, my issue is if you're not doing a retelling of the last episode, which this is clearly not. It's not a retelling of. We're not seeing the full episode Woody was watching.
Right.
Because certain intents are different. We don't have villains or anything. It's just Jesse and Prospector stuff in the thing. But I think what they're trying to get me to buy into here is like they're kind of doing they're suggesting that each episode of Woody's Roundup, or at least the majority of the episodes of Woody's Roundup, end like an Adam West Batman style cliffhanger of like, okay, they're in a death trap. Only this one's a little harder to buy. As a death trap, like, okay, every episode we're doing like a Dukes of Hazzard jump across something, and we're not sure if they make it. Of course he's gonna make it on the end. Batman Round's a little different. It's like, okay, it's a death trap, as in something is designed to kill, and it's just like the same thing happening over. It doesn't sound like something that'd be a running thing in Woody's Roundup. Like this for like now and again, like, okay, well he's jumping over the cliff, or is the climactic last episode? It's
yeah.
Not making any sense of that. It just sounds like if you're not retelling, it sounds like we're suggesting this is like a regular thing, which I'm not sure if I can buy into that. To this being a regular thing. Like, I want closure. I want victory. I want to see like we go with the Buzz Lightyear ride, where it's we see Zurg is all wrapped up and Buzz is the battery. It's victory at the end. It's like a nice feel good feeling. Like, all right,
yeah, totally. Okay, I mean, I don't know, Dragon. I'm kind of of two minds about it. Sandy and Jacob, what do you think? You guys have been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
No, I mean, not trying to call it a liar.
Would you like to weigh in?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if it works very well with a ride. Of course, if you have works better because you have episode after episode with a ride. It's just one thing. You're not going to get a sequel or anything.
Yeah.
So, and with that in mind, I don't think it really. I'm kind of the same as you, Tiki. I feel kind of split because I think it'd be exciting for ride.
It's a good gimmick, right? Like, you've got to admit it. It's a good gimmick.
Yeah, it's clever.
And leave the audience hanging, you wondering, and leave it up to the imagination.
You know what? To tell you the truth, I'm just gonna kind of like. This is like almost half jokingly. I'm sorry to kind of derail your point, Sandy.
That's okay.
I want to kind of finish. I'm sorry, but so Fantasyland. If you're talking about Fantasyland style dark rides, right? I feel like almost all of them, besides Pinocchio's Daring Journey, which wasn't even an original Fantasyland dark ride, that came in the 80s. Almost all the Fantasyland dark rides end in freaking cliffhangers. Think about it. You've got Snow White, which ends with the witch getting killed. You've got Mr. Toad, which ends with the writers in hell. You've got Alice in Wonderland.
Snow White doesn't end on a cliffhanger. You see, like the storybook.
Those are endings, though. Those aren't cliffhangers. Those are endings.
Well, I still think it's kind of cliffhanger-esque, though. It's just well, shit, we're in hell now. What do we do? I don't know.
Well, that's your fate. That's your ending. You're there. You're screwed. You're boned. That's it.
Well, yeah, I think Alice in Wonderland is a definite cliffhanger.
Well, Alice in Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland is kind of more of a stretch, but that one, it's kind of like, oh no, the cake exploded.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess out of any of the Fantasyland Dark Rides, Alice would be the most cliffhanger-esque. Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, I would not consider a cliffhanger because you see the storybook at the end and
Ding dong,
you hear the happy music. Yeah, or whatever the song is. Peter Pan. How does Peter Pan?
It ends with the Mermaid Lagoon, and then you're just suddenly in the station.
Oh,
which has always bothered me. That's always bugged the crap out of me. It's like the first. I remember.
Yeah,
the
what the
first
heck is up with
on that ride? It's just like, wait, what? That's it?
Yeah. I guess I'm not really going to count that because that's not really a cliffhanger or anything. That's not even an ending.
Like,
that's just
not. Yeah,
just
you're right.
It's off.
It's an ending. It's just like, oh, we ran out of room. Sorry.
That's the end of the ride. You waited in that line for nothing. Sorry. Then with Toad, it's just kind of mixed. It's not really a cliffhanger, but it's not really an ending. It just stops, and you're in hell.
Well, I mean, Toad. I think Toad has like the most unique and beloved ending to any theme park attraction, in my opinion. I mean, you can't beat it.
It goes that extra mile.
I mean, you really can't beat it. It's just, I remember the first time I went on that ride, I was like, it's like, wait, what? What?
Game over.
All right. Anyways. Jacob, you've been kind of quiet. Anything to weigh in on here?
What do you think of the cliffhanger ending?
Jacob?
Did we lose him?
No, he's present. I think.
I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts. Jacob?
Hey, Jacob.
Hey, buddy.
Shoot.
All right. Yeah. Let's just keep going. I'll message him.
Yeah. I apologize because Sandy, you remember that
Peanuts situation? Might be a Peanuts thing where he's been.
Well, yeah. Exactly. I was gonna bring that up. I'm like, oh dear, this is giving me flashbacks.
He's been making so many excellent points, and we've heard nothing.
I know.
It says active 15 minutes ago, and he was saying before we started that he's running low on time. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not sure why he's. I'm not sure why he's still, I guess, present as far as his avatar goes.
He's here in spirit.
Someone run some voltage through him. Let's see if that gets.
I think you may have fallen asleep.
There, let's see.
That's always a possibility.
What? Hey, wait a minute. Let's try to tinker. Oh, wait, 1 second. Wait.
Jacob?
What?
There he is! He's alive!
Where have you been?
I haven't been here. I've been here all the time.
Oh, we've been calling you.
Yeah, we've been trying to get a hold of you for like 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Were you asleep?
No.
Don't do that.
Yes, you don't call the man out. Jacob, anything to weigh in on about the cliffhanger ending to this ride?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see. Trying to think if there's any points to make here before we move on. See what I'm saying? Though, it just feels like we're replicating the thing. I want to just see what an adventure, a fully fleshed out adventure in Woody's Roundup would be like versus just kind of like what I already saw in the movie. You know.
I understand that, but at the same time,
I still respect them pulling it. I respect how it would go,
like I kind of feel like it's a mix, right? Because it's like. It's unique because it's definitely sort of like we haven't seen something this accurate to, to a very this isn't even like Buzz Lightyear. Like I kind of feel like Buzz Lightyear meets you halfway a little bit, right? whereas I feel like this is going full tilt. And so, Dragon, I understand what you're saying. Of like, I think it would make for a more conventional dark ride if it was that way. But at the same time, I do like the fact that they're trying to nail.
It captures the feel, but not the logic. You know, it's kind of what it is. It feels right. It feels like I appreciate the effort.
There's totally a ton of logic in an old Howdy Doody serial.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just pointing that out. I just want to point out what we're talking about here.
You see what I'm saying, though, right? I mean, I respect the effort. I love the pull of like, oh yeah, they're pulling the ending from that. But again, that was under different circumstances, and it's kind of saying that well, everyone ends that way, and we're never going
It's
to.
historically documented that most of the writing on Flash Gordon was just to get Flash Gordon into fights. I don't think the writing on these serial things are that sophisticated.
I know. I'm just saying they don't need sophistication for just a plain ending of okay, we stopped the bad guys. All the serials eventually ended on hey, we stopped the bad guy.
You know what's even worse about the cliffhanger is that technically the bad guy could be just lurking around in the gift shop like the whole time, and we don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, this is.
But again, it's cool, but maybe it doesn't feel as satisfying as I think.
Mhm.
It doesn't give you closure. I like closure. I think we all enjoy closure when it happens.
Yeah.
Closure's all nice and makes you feel all good inside. It's like the guarantee fairy stuff, buddy.
Yeah, with Alice, I think it kind of suits it. I'm just going to jump back to that quickly because I was.
No, go
thinking
ahead.
about
Yeah.
that. I think the ending suits it because it's Wonderland. It's supposed to leave you wondering. So, I think that fits.
And not to mention,
fits,
it's crazy and zany and just like,
Exactly.
hey, a cake exploded. The end.
Exactly. That's the ride. None of it makes sense.
Marianne!
Right.
Oh, my beautiful cake.
I'm sorry. It's like every time I ride that ride, I'm like secretly hoping that I get the Marianne audio because I love the Marianne. Marianne.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the
It
gift
was my
shop.
own birthday too.
Oh god. Yeah, let's talk about the Prospector's Collection.
This is really cool. I love this. And again, I'm saying if you don't have like a display case full of the Wizard Ranch, you could definitely put in the gift shop here. Again, like the super accurate toys.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dragon. I'm gonna point out something that might placate your desire to have an ending. So we see these the special edition DVD showing 5 park exclusive episodes of the show.
Which I love that, by the way. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but one of those episodes could be a resolution to the cliffhanger of the ride.
Huh. Okay.
Think about that.
That does placate me more. I'll say,
Right.
but again, that's a guarantee if people are going to buy it or not. They don't know if they're going to buy that.
Okay, yeah, but if you're someone like you who's like, oh man, like you're walking out.
But yeah,
like,
that's me. I live and breathe Toy Story.
but I'm just
man.
saying, Dragon, I'm just saying for fans like you who are walking out like, oh man, I really like that. Good idea. I want to see what happens next. And then you walk into the gift store, you see the DVD like exclusive episodes, including the revolution to this cliffhanger. Oh, I'm down.
That's kind of a commitment. That's kind of a drug dealer thing. The first taste is free. Now you got to buy the rest of it. You know, it's a
Dragon,
it's
it's
think of
Disney,
the
it's all
children
drug
for a
dealer
moment here.
tactics. Every bit of merchandise at Disney is a drug dealer tactic. Okay.
Think of the children here. Like
The whole
"Mom,
tactic
what do
of
you
exiting
make?"
through the gift shop is basically a drug dealer tactic.
Dude, these are uncertain times we live in. We need closure. Does Woody make it? I need to know that this beloved icon made it and the day is saved. Tiki. I'm just saying. I think.
Well, we can just do what Alice does and what Snow White does. We just end on the music. And we can assume he made it, but we don't quite know.
Yeah.
No. Dan just slaughtered Woody, and that's the end.
At the end of Alice and Snow White, you have the storybook, the pictures with the Cheshire Cat and the just have what's his name, Dan, down there doing something evil.
And I don't want to go.
gosh.
I'll spare you folks the violent and gory details about Woody's demise. But
Okay. Let's ease off.
Stinky Pete's Revenge.
oh god.
Remember, Stinky Pete did have a sadistic. He wanted to tear Woody's limbs off in Toy Story 3. Don't forget that.
Okay, folks, and we will end on this great image right here.
This is my favorite thing in the whole gift shop aisle.
Okay.
I love you can sell bowls of the cereals, boxes of the Cowboy Crunchy cereal, which was also kind of a tie into having the cereal bar.
Sure, right. Okay, now that is some product placement I can get behind. I don't know about you guys, but my God,
I can get behind it.
That image just makes me want a bowl of cereal. Okay.
Oh, now that they're making things for record players, you could actually buy the Woody's Roundup record.
Right.
And the record player, maybe. The thing that Jesse, they're all running around on Toy Story 2. You can actually have that these days because now they're making records back again. They're selling vinyls these days.
Okay, so that's about it, guys. Jacob, I know you're kind of running low on time, so I apologize for going long.
Tiki, I just have one last thing.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to screen share this here.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
There's that wonderful little image up at the corner.
Well, Tiki, is the screen locked?
Oh, it's the screen lock? Okay.
Oh, no.
Never mind, then.
No,
All right.
I got it, Sandy. I got it.
I was going to share the other one that I kept bringing up on the debates with his face. The costume.
Okay. Okay.
I'm making myself look like an ass now.
I mean, Sandy, you don't want to mess with BlueDragonFive and the stuff that he's passionate about. Like man-eating Wreath will tell you that. Isn't that right, Dragon?
Let's not get into
Sorry. Okay.
Anyway, so I believe we were going somewhere with the awesome Cowboy Crunchies. You're getting great product placement, great message.
No, I mean it's just it's a good project, good thing to hit on. So,
and the path we were going after that was
Sandy bringing up a derp picture of Woody.
Okay, I meant what? Getting back on track. What are we doing at this moment, Tiki? What are we doing?
Final thoughts is what we're doing at this moment.
There
Final
we go.
thoughts.
All right. Jacob, Garrett Williams, final thoughts?
I do like the way this project turned out. It's very creative. Very creative use of the license and everything.
Sandy?
I'm sorry.
You stop looking at the pictures.
Don't tempt him.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm looking at the image Tiki's sharing.
Tiki, don't encourage him. What are you doing?
This project was great. I think I like the original artwork. I like just the idea, I like the location, how it's all set up and everything. I'm anxious to see what else everyone has in store.
All right. Well, there's only one other project that we have in store, Sandy, because this is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the end, but we will be returning for our coverage of Team Baby Groot and their Princess of the Frog Dark Ride tomorrow. So, yeah, that's right, guys. We're not going to make you wait on. We're going to crack them all out, one after another, really kind of set things back on course, really celebrate the good things that came out of this competition and all the positivity and all the creativity. So, yeah, for sure. So, all right, Dragon, any final thoughts on your end?
So again, overall, I really respect creativity and faithfulness to all this. Again, it might be a little iffy on like certain choices, but the whole thing I'm very pleased with. I think if you're going to do a ride like this in I guess Frontierland, I think it's a really cool way to go about it, man. For me, I'm always so like, okay, wow, we're doing a kind of Woody's version of the Buzz Lightyear ride in a way. Bear in mind, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of a dark ride of it's a dark ride, but more retrofitted to Woody than kind of an action adventure thing like Buzz Lightyear. So again, it feels very true to kind of that, very true to Woody's Roundup idea, and I'm very pleased. I'm very impressed that they went the route of the whole. We're going to do it like the show. We're going to get people that immersive experience of watching the show and actually being part of it, which is really cool examination of. It's kind of cool untapped territory. It's like you never really imagine going into kind of this. A big appeal of the Woody's Roundup thing was kind of this cruddy, outdated show, but in the days we live in now, we're looking really fondly on all the older
Right,
stuff,
right.
and like it's like a really cool exploration of, oh wow, imagine if you were in this universe, but we cranked it up to more kind of like what you're seeing was what you're getting. You know, it's not just, you know, it's not marionettes on screen. It's not just marionettes being filmed. Like you're in a world of black and white marionettes in a western though.
Mhm.
There's a cool way to celebrate the old west, but also in a universally enjoyable way through Toy Story, and more specifically through Woody. It's kind of a good, you know, it's a good way of making the old west cool again in a way. Not that it was never not cool. You make it even better, you know.
Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. And in the meantime, this is some great product placement right here. This is some great product placement. But do you guys know what else is great product placement? Like the King of all Disney product placement. Yeah, you love this bread? It's such good bread. You need to buy the bread, man. Buy the.
You like Star Wars?
You like Star Wars? Well, this is Star Wars bread. This bread is better than Star Wars.